Right, so you know who Blake Lively is, right? Most people know her. Yeah, see, the people who are booing, they know. She has a history of saying, okay, I'll be the star, but what I secretly want to do is direct it and edit it and produce it. I want all the roles for me and only me. I want full control because I am a controlling bully.
I would show up on a set. I knew that they just wanted me to show up and look cute and stand on a little pink sticker where I'm supposed to go and say what I'm supposed to say. But I also knew that that wasn't fulfilling for me, that I wanted to be a part of the storytelling, that I wanted to be a part of the narrative, whether that be in the writing, in the costume design, and creating the character.
Grow up. You're in the public eye. You've got probably hundreds of millions thanks to your husband. Just shut up. No one cares.
I can tell you right now that depositions are coming. It is a fact, an absolute fact.
Hollywood lawsuits. The best reality TV that isn't technically scripted. But let's be honest, if there were a writing team behind this, they deserve an Emmy for drama plot twists and your audacity. And today's main character? Taylor Swift, yes, the same Taylor Swift who has built an empire on playing the victim writing revenge anthems and convincing millions that her personal feuds are somehow your problem. But this time, she's not the one writing the story, because the legal system has officially added her to the lawsuit of the season. Ladies and gentlemen, we present Taylor Swift's upcoming deposition, because despite her PR team's best efforts to erase her name from this $400 million courtroom saga, we now know she was deeply involved, and now she's about to go under oath, so grab your popcorn and settle in. Because this is the kind of unhinged Hollywood chaos that reminds us why this industry is just one giant overpaid soap opera. Before we get into the juicy details, let's talk about the first sign that something fishy was going on, the protected order that was filed. For those who don't know, Hollywood elites use protective orders when they don't want their very public scandals to get too public. That being said, this one had a very interesting clause. It protects famous people and makes sure that any discovery information, like text messages, emails, depositions, and all the juicy behind-the-scenes drama, can be kept secret if it could hurt them. If her team has their way, Taylor Swift's text chats will never be made public.
First and foremost, no matter how you feel about Taylor Swift, you have to recognize and respect the fact that she is a machine, okay? She is an absolute machine. She will do everything to protect her image.
If you're wondering why Taylor Swift needs legal help in a case that's supposed to be about Blake Lively, then congrats. You're smarter than Hollywood executives. The truth is that Taylor wasn't just a bystander, she was right in the middle of it, helping with casting, allegedly demanding people be fired, and even having a big say in creative decisions. But we're supposed to think she was just there while everything happened. But here's the good news. Despite all the efforts to hide her role, we now know that Taylor is yes. You heard that right. Taylor Swift is going to get to peanut, and she is going to be deposed, and she is up first. They want her first, they have heard the public pleas, and essentially we're gonna get it. We are finally going to get what we want. And this is a very, very, very big deal.
Taylor Swift is gonna get subpoenaed, and she is going to be deposed, and she is up first. They want her first. They have heard the public pleas, and essentially we're gonna get it. We are finally gonna get what we want. And this is a very, very, very big deal.
She used to be the queen of Easter eggs, but now she's being cracked open like a Cadbury egg, and her PR team is not happy about it. Despite all the strategic PR gymnastics, Taylor Swift is officially being removed from her position, and Hollywood's most powerful spin machine just short-circuited. This isn't a far-off possibility or a vague legal technicality. It's happening, and she's in charge. The woman who has built an empire on controlling her own story is about to face a situation where she doesn't get to edit the final cut. There were no well-thought-out Instagram posts or cute Easter eggs. Poor me words that aren't direct, just a room full of lawyers waiting to dissect every word she says under oath. And for someone whose brand depends on keeping a carefully curated, relatable yet untouchable image, this is the equivalent of a full-blown PR crisis.
Blake and Ryan will wind up fighting a real dragon, okay? A real dragon that has an army of teenagers that are behind her. And it is my professional opinion that she was very much involved.
The tragedy? Swift's team has been saying for months that she had nothing to do with this case, and that she barely knew Justin Bologna had any real control over the movie, and was basically just a bystander. This is one of the biggest PR lies. Swift's team tried to push that she had barely any involvement in the film, Just a friendly wave, maybe a polite nod, and poof, she was gone like some kind of playful movie fairy. Except that's not what happened.
And we just know objectively that is not true, okay? We know objectively that is not true because both Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni, despite this contentious fight, have agreed on the fact that Taylor Swift was involved in this film, okay? They just have agreed on that without knowing that this fight was coming, when everything was all good in the hood.
In reality, she had a big say in casting, particularly when it came to choosing the actress for young Lily Bloom, Isabel Barr. And how do we know this? Because Isabel herself said,
Taylor may have had some influence in getting. Yes, she did. Yeah, I know. I don't even know if I'm meant to be saying it, but I'm saying it. Yeah, she was a helpful part of the process of the audition, which I found out later after I got it, and that rocked my world. Yeah. I have no words.
But wait, it gets better. Justin Baldoni also confirmed it. In an interview accidentally blowing up the entire, Taylor had nothing to do with this defense. With a single sentence, he casually admitted that he showed Swift and Blake Lively the casting tapes, and together they decided who got the part.
She told me Taylor Swift helped her get the role, like signed off on her audition.
I was casting, and I had actually brought in and showed her casting tape to Blake and Taylor, and they were both like, "Yes, her." And that's a true story. But she just blew me away. In the audition.
And yet Swift's PR army is still out here trying to convince the public that she had nothing to do with this movie. The problem, the receipts say otherwise. And now, thanks to this deposition, those receipts might actually get read out loud in court.
Sounds like he's maybe seen Taylor Swift more than at that one time at the apartment in which she was quote-unquote startled and never spoke to him again, according to the PR team.
Yes. The classic Hollywood power move. I'll let you use my song, but only if you fire these guys. Because nothing screams artistic integrity like allegedly demanding the removal of an entire film composer just to get your track in the movie. According to a now infamous Reddit leak, which by the way turned out to be eerily accurate on every other claim, so far Taylor Swift reportedly got the film's lead composer Brian Tyler fired along with the guy working under him, all for personal reasons. The deal was simple: if you want Swift song My Tears, Ricochet on the soundtrack, those two composers had to go, and guess what? They were replaced now. At the time, this post sounded like nothing more than a tinfoil hat theory, but as the lawsuit unfolded, every single detail from that leak checked out, every single one. And yet, despite TikTokers and podcasters dissecting the situation like it's a college-level conspiracy theory class, Swift's team has remained suspiciously silent. No denials. No angry PR statements, just crickets. Which is funny, considering how fast they usually swoop in to correct misinformation, but sure, we're still supposed to believe that she had zero control over this movie. At this point, even her own fans are side, eyeing the situation. Because, let's be real, when there's this much smoke, you don't need to be a genius to figure out there's a full-blown fire. And now, thanks to this deposition, Swift might actually have to explain why all these little coincidences keep piling up. If there's one thing Taylor Swift and Ryan Reynolds have in common, besides an aggressively curated public image, it's their shared love for dropping Easter eggs like they're getting paid per breadcrumb. And in this lawsuit, the Swift Arts, Reynolds' Easter egg machine has been working overtime from social media hints to hidden messages and movie credits. It's like they're desperately trying to steer the narrative without actually addressing the lawsuit case in point. Ryan Reynolds, repeatedly using Deadpool-related Easter eggs to mock Justin Baldoni, a guy he apparently had no issue with until this legal mess exploded. But let's connect the dots here. Who's one of Reynolds' best friends? Taylor Swift, who's knee-deep in this lawsuit. Despite pretending she barely knows what's going on, Taylor Swift, and who's conveniently using their Hollywood class out to spin this story into a Taylor-friendly fairy tale. You got it. Taylor Swift, the PR damage control is so clear, it's almost comical.
We are going to be able to read that deposition, because there's nothing proprietary there. We don't need her accounts, and you can't say, well, I don't want to be deposed because I'm Taylor Swift, and there might be something in there that shows that I'm a liar. You can't do that. This is a PR crisis for Taylor Swift.
If this was a Deadpool movie, they'd literally break the fourth wall and wink at the audience. But here's the problem. Lawsuits aren't scripted, and for the first time in her career, Swift isn't the one directing the edits, no perfectly placed. Instagram caption can fix this one, no aesthetic photo dump can erase the fact that she's now legally tied to this lawsuit, and when the deposition transcript drops, oh, you better believe the internet is going to frame by frame analyze every word, like it's a post-credit scene in a Marvel film.
And Brian Friedman knows how to fight back against a bully. Trust me. And he started telling everybody Justin Baldoni's side. He told us that Justin Baldoni denied those claims of sexual harassment and only tried to appease Blake Lively because she was such a high-maintenance diva bully brat. He had to bend over backwards just to get her to shut up and complete the film.
If Hollywood loves one thing more than money, it's pretending to care about justice until it's inconvenient. Enter the Blake Lively lawsuit, a case that's forcing everyone to reevaluate their selective outrage, especially when it comes to the Me Too movement's VIP section. Because let's face it, if a man had done even half of what's being alleged here, Twitter would be on fire, legacy media would be drafting op-eds at lightning speed, and half of Hollywood would be delivering teary speeches about accountability at the Oscars. But since the accused happens to be an A-list actress, suddenly it's all very complicated. Sound familiar? It should. Because this is exactly what happened with Amber Heard. Remember how the media tried to gaslight the world into believing she was the real victim, even when her own text messages proved otherwise wise? Well, the same PR strategy is being copied and pasted here, with Taylor Swift playing the part of the strategic bystander. The difference: people aren't falling for it. This time, the Amber Heard trial fractured Hollywood's ability to blindly push these narratives without consequences. And now Swift's deposition is about to test whether the industry has really learned anything, or if they're still clinging to the idea that celebrity-approved activism can be used as a get-out-of-accountability-free card. Either way, the public isn't buying the nothing-to-see-here act anymore. And for once, a Hollywood cover-up might actually be too messy to sweep under the rug at the end of the day. Taylor Swift wanted to be part of Hollywood's elite power circle. Well, congratulations, you've officially unlocked the legal consequences that come with it for someone who has spent her entire career mastering the art of controlled victimhood. This is one scenario where she can't simply drop a cryptic song lyric and walk away. No Instagram essay, no poetic Easter egg hunt, no poor me narrative is going to erase the fact that she is now legally entangled in a $250 million lawsuit. And while her PR team scrambles to airbrush her involvement out of history, the reality is simple: Swift is getting deposed and there's nothing she can do about it. This isn't just a minor inconvenience. It's a full-scale PR crisis because the moment that transcript drops, every lie, every contradiction, and every carefully curated excuse will be ripped apart in real time, and for the first time, Taylor Swift won't be the one in control of the final edit. So what happens next? Well, Hollywood will probably do what it does best: pretend this is all shocking act, like they care about accountability, and then quietly move on the second it stops trending. But the real takeaway here, even the biggest, pop star on the planet isn't immune to the cold hard reality of the legal system, and for once the public might actually get to see what happens when Hollywood's most powerful players can't just rewrite the truth to fit their narrative. Stay tuned, because this deposition might just give us the greatest story twist Hollywood has ever seen.